So this is gonna be the fourth video on the Just Movie series. I have been watching a lot of movies and I'm planning to watch even more, so expect this one to be the most longest series. Maybe probably it's already my second longest series, other than the weekly Just Rants. And yeah, so the movie today is Venom, the Venom series. Uh, Specifically the Venom series today because I finished watching the second movie with my family like a couple hours ago, and I just wanted to talk about it, all my thoughts about it. So first of all, it's a superhero movie. Like I don't care what the fuck you say about it not being like superhero because it's like a super villain, but then he's like good. No, it's all a superhero movie. It's a superhero movie, and you first need to hear about my opinion of superhero movies. I don't really give a fuck about anything else about superhero movies except for like, oh, cool CG, cool action. No, everything else I don't really give a fuck. Like story, plot holes. If you're gonna get angry about that, get angry about it. Um, but like what I expect from a superhero movie is like cheesy lines, good CG, good action scenes. As long as things make sense, um, they don't need to make good sense. As long as it just makes sense, I'll be like, close my eyes and be like, okay, it's a superhero movie. That's my expectation for a superhero movie. And first of all, okay, just to put that out there, I think the first movie was better than the second one. And if you're planning to see the second one, but you don't really think like enjoyed the first movie that much, it's honestly fine. The first movie itself is like, it's a cool concept. Like the ending was kind of bleh, but like, it was a good concept. And then the second movie was like kind of more of like that the bleh side, but then also kind of like eh. I don't know. Let me talk about it. So the first movie, summarize. This company likes aliens, so they send a rocket. They said they didn't find anything, but like, aliens come down. Aliens like stuck onto it, and so they come down. And this thing called a symbiote. And if you don't know what symbiote means, for all the like non scientific nerds out there, symbiote is kind of like a parasite that requires a host, basically a host, to live in it. And uh, the reason why it's called symbiote is there's this thing called a symbiotic relationship where both parties, the host and the symbiote, benefit from the relationship. Sharks and like the things that like eat things from the shark are like kind of like the shark eat the cleaners. Those are called symbiotic relationships, and the aliens in Venom are sort of like that. They require a host, and they want a symbiotic relationship. It needs to be like a perfect match. I don't know. It's kind of bullshit, but like whatever. To be the perfect, to get like the perfect human to like sustain, and these aliens eat human brains. And so, um, there's like two symbiotes in the first movie. First is Venom, the black dude, and then the second one I forgot his name. His name is like something like really edgy or something like that. I don't know. It's so forgettable. And so basically, what the main character Eddie does is he investigates, and he finds out this company's kind of shady, and so he breaks in. He gets contact with the symbiote. It's in his body now, and then the company wants to kill him, but then also company want to fire another rocket to get more aliens, and then, you know, Venom is like, no, we should stop that. And so, uh, honestly, I didn't really care for the whole story. Like, it was honestly above average in my opinion. But then I didn't really care for it that much, anyways, because it's a superhero movie, and the whole CG done with like Venom and like the fight, like the escape scene for like Eddie escaping from his house, like on the motorbikes and stuff. That was done like, chef's kiss. It wasn't the best CG I've ever seen, but like honestly, like choreographing that, see Venom fighting against like humans and humans trying to attack Venom and the like like Venom's and like Eddie's like conversations. Those kind of like the best parts, and honestly, I think everything up until probably like the rocket scene was really good. I really enjoyed the weird things Eddie did with the symbiote in him, and it was just kind of so constantly funny. Like not constantly, but it was like you could get a laugh out of me while watching it, and um, it does really seem like kind of like an idiot, but like it kind of seems like an honest reaction to what kind of like a person like Eddie would actually react to like a being an alien being in him. I didn't really like the whole like love line between like the main character and like the other girl, Anne, but you know, it's every superhero movie apparently needs like a love line. Uh, and but I did like the fact that like the love line is like not like anymore. Like, you know, they're like another dude. And that concludes my Venom 1 review. Really good, really like kind of unique storytelling on unique telling on what the Venom character could be. Up until like the final like rocket like fight scene against the other symbiote, that kind of like was shit. Like just shit. I'm not gonna even talk about it. It's just shit. And that's the only like really bad part of the movie in my opinion. Like it's kind of gory, but I like gory. I was like, it's a superhero movie. It was something new, and then Venom 2 came out, and that's when it got like kind of too full of itself in my opinion. It it kind of got rid of like the kind of like creative elements of like what Venom could really do, and instead it was just like, oh, these jokes worked in the first movie, so why don't we use that in the second movie, but like not change them in any way, and so it's not funny anymore, and so it's not funny anymore. Uh, yeah, that was like that thing, and like that was like the kind of like not fun. It was just not funny. Like what Venom could do, like they explored a bit more, but it wasn't like massive, like expansive as the first movie. And I think they're expecting like, whoa, Venom can do this, wow. But then like honestly, it wasn't like it was kind of like meh in my opinion. Like there was a scene where like Venom could like instantly memorize anything, and like have like amazing drawing skills and like cook a whole like 5 meal breakfast for Eddie. Like yeah, it's like funny, but like I'm looking for something different. Like you didn't need to show me it, but I could probably guess that he could do stuff like this. Uh, and yeah, that's like the biggest problem I had with the first part of the movie. The whole like, you know, mass murder. Okay, the whole like mass murder is like kind of like Eddie Brock. Um, and like relationship was like shit because like we didn't know like what would we know about like these people just as like the viewer's eyes, these people just literally met and they already like hate each other's guts. Like I don't really understand what like that whole dynamic was. um it was just literally like, okay, now we hate each other, I guess, but we have this whole like backstory, but we're not gonna tell you. And um yeah, that's kind of shit because it kind of felt like out of the blue, like the whole like the two criminals like liking each other. Yeah, I could see it, but then like they're like so old, it just kind of looks disgusting. um yeah, you're too old to be love struck, and like, you know, like you haven't seen each other for like 30 years or something like that. Like honestly, it's like disgusting. I'm not saying like old people should love, but then yeah, I'm saying like, you know, you haven't seen each other for 30 years, and then the first thing you do is the French kiss. I'm then like, what the fuck. Secondly, uh the cop, I like the cop. The end of the cop. Just like I like the cop, and that's it. And then Anne being getting engaged to Dan. I mean, I don't hate Anne as a character. I just hate that there's so much like sexual tension between Eddie and Anne, and I'm like, that's just like so irrelevant. Like, why do like like I know it's supposed to like some people are like that really, but like, you know, some like it's not like everyone's like so whiny about like getting like broke up with their girlfriend. I broke up with my girlfriend, and like honestly, I still to this day I kind of feel bad about it. But I don't like go to up to her house and like beg for forgiveness and like let's get back together. No, I'm just got go over it like a like I'm not a freaking bitch about it. Like honestly, stop that with superhero tropes. Like, not every like superhero needs to have like a love interest. It like no people like superheroes can be like friendly like human too. Anyways, yeah, I just hated the whole like love interest dynamic. I'm so glad that like finally we have like like a movie, like a superhero movie with like the main character like freaking kissing the other like a main girl, and like the main girl's like getting on with their life. Like they're getting married, and like yeah, that's supposed to be like that's good. We need more stuff like that. It's like a step in the right direction. But like again, like Eddie's like a freaking bitch. Um, Another thing kind of like messes me up. Like they never really explain like how Carnage like exists. Like I get that he's like, it's from the blood. Of Venom that he's like it's technically like part of him. Like, so you could argue that it works, but like it never explained why Carnage really wants to kill Venom. Like it's not like I'm gonna replace you or anything. It's just like out of the blue, it's like I'm gonna go kill my father, and that kind of like stupid. But like okay, and then like the whole like let there be carnage thing. That's like kind of like stupid. Like it's kind of like kiddie and childish, and like honestly, you could think of something better, in my opinion. Um, it's like very tropey from the start. I could like the whole like the girl can scream, and that hurts the venom. I knew that was like gonna be like sort of tied with the ending, cause like like it's so obvious foreshadowing. Like honestly, like it kind of like puts out the fun of it. Like you don't even need to think that's gonna happen. Uh, just didn't read like the characters. All the characters overall, like Dan was like kind of cool. Like he was the most normal one, and it's like kind of refreshing to see actually like normal characters. Okay, and like the whole fight between like Venom and Eddie. Honestly, if you're gonna like make like a whole fight, like a discussion about it, just build it up more rather than just like suddenly like Eddie's like angsty and angry that like Venom's like being all bitch, and like Venom's angry that Eddie's being a bitch about him being a bitch, and to stop it, it could have been done way better. Like could have like make a whole movie out of it. It didn't feel like I don't know even how long it was. I'm guessing it was like 2 hours. It didn't feel like 2 hours. It felt like 30 minutes, like the whole show, because there's like that much story development. Um, Venom and Eddie fighting. Yeah, that's a good concept, but honestly, you could build it up more, like create more drama, like make real reasons rather than just like I fought you and I need you now. That kind of like there's no character development in that. It's just the same thing. It's just like back to normal. Honestly, it's not like great in my opinion. So the second movie, really don't need to see it unless like you're a really hardcore Marvel fan. The first one was infinitely better in my opinion, but that's not to say like the second one was trash. Um, I just felt like it could have been with the same story. It could have been done way better, in almost every way. Just like provide more explanations, provide more story to each character. Don't make him just like a superficial like one dimensional character. Give some more like thought to it, more empathy to the characters. Make them form like make them feel more real. Like that's like the whole charm of the first movie. It was like Eddie's like wit, like dumb statements and charm, and like Venom's like kind of stupidness, and it doesn't feel like they learned anything from the first movie. Like even the staff and the characters themselves too. Like honestly, it felt like the way like a bullet passed through. Like nothing really, like no development just happened. It's just like there's a beginning, middle, end. That's it. That's all I have to say about Venom. Um, Venom series was really innovative for the superhero genre, in my opinion. But it's like that kind of thing where like this things the innovator normally doesn't really do well, and unless like Venom 3 is like a 3 hour movie, I feel like I can't really get back into like attached to the characters of Venom because they're just so shit, and don't introduce like any like new love interest in Venom 3 if you're making one. Stop. I hate love interest in like I've seen too much of it. I love romance, but I've seen too much of it. Yeah,